What you don't know about me, and that's because I don't talk about this very much, if at all, is that I live in pain, in constant, acute, physical pain, in chronic pain, 24/7. I've been living in pain most of my life, and it's something which I'm used to dealing with, and I deal with it. How I deal with it? I train my mind. But that's something I'm going to talk about in this video, how to deal with not only physical pain, just the opposite, how to deal with all the suffering that we have, which comes from our mind, which maybe we feel we're not breaking through in business. Maybe our relationships are bad, toxic. Maybe our marriage is crumbling. How do we deal with all that? So let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Eddie. I'm the founder of EddieForLife, Eddie Lindenbaum. Today I coach people, and after 40 years of business and more than 25 years on the spiritual path, including my whole life in the martial arts, I'm here to give support in order so that maybe if you're listening to this video right now, it might help you improve your life, not from a place of wanting to sell you or wanting to get you into some kind of funnel. I don't care about all that. But if I can help somebody, even by somebody who watches this video, then I feel good about it. So, like I said, I lived my whole life in pain, in chronic physical pain. There are days which it gets me down. I don't take painkillers. I deal with it. I deal with it by training my mind. The Dalai Lama, the Nobel Prize winner and the head of the Tibetan people, he says something very beautiful. And he says, granted there is suffering in life, yet most of our suffering comes from our own mind. And that's something so important. It's possible to deal with physical suffering by dealing and training our minds. And yet, from somebody who does that and who doesn't take painkillers, except once in a while, really once in a while, when I feel that, wow, it's really destroying my day or my life. And that could be maybe once a month, maybe once in a couple of months, or maybe even once a week, or once every couple of days. It can happen. But what I want to say is that dealing with physical pain is one thing, and you can deal with it by training your mind. And even when it becomes too much to bear, we do have possibilities of dealing with it like painkillers. I don't believe in using painkillers, definitely not, on a regular basis, because you become reliant, you become dependent on them. And then what's going to happen? You're going to increase your dosage day by day, week by week. What's going to happen in a couple of years when it doesn't work anymore and you're getting older maybe? So that's something to think about. But what I'm here to really share with you in this video is suffering of a totally different nature, and that's suffering of our minds. And what do I mean by suffering of our mind? We live in a world, a lot of us live in a world of constant suffering, and it's become so bad, and we're so conditioned to living in this world of suffering that we take it for granted that this is how it's supposed to be. We have a terrible relationship with our significant other. Our marriage crumbles. We live in a toxic marriage or toxic relationship. We're always fighting. We're always butting heads. Always, and it gets to levels that we start even talking in a way which is not respectful to each other. Our children, we're always fighting with our children, or they're fighting with us. It's like a tug of war. There is a lot of times, there's no tranquility, there's no peace. We don't find a common ground to talk with them, to have a good communication. So we're always fighting, and always, it's who is stronger. Go to bed, don't go to bed. Why did you do this? Why didn't you do that? That's not the way that we want to live. At the workplace, if we're living in a corporate environment, we have to do all this political, infighting. Somebody wants our job and people are always trying to get us down, or people say things which we don't like. And it's always a constant fight in the workplace. Instead of having a workplace, building a workplace as a team and understanding that each member of the team has to feel great on the team so that the team itself can reach the next and highest level possible. And we suffer with ourselves, with our bodies. In our minds, we're constantly comparing ourselves to others. And because of that, we see people who have more than us and we feel like shit. And we say, why do they have so much? Why are they successful more than us? That's the workings of the mind. In the business world, if we're entrepreneurs, if we're businessmen, we always feel that we could be doing better. We should be doing better. And that's already thoughts. But there are a lot of cases in which we know and feel that we're not bringing our true potential to the table. We're not really showing our power in our lives. We're working on maybe 2 cylinders out of an 8-cylinder car. And that's a terrible feeling, to know that we're not able to really maximize our potential. We're not able to break through to our highest level in our business. And definitely, if our business suffers, then we start suffering even more. And that's not only financial suffering, but it's also emotional and mental suffering. Because even if you built up a great business, and this is something which has happened to me in the past. I remember one week which 2 clients from different places around the world reached out to me, and they had the same story. That was amazing. That's why I remember that. Both of them said something along the lines that, Eddie, listen, I built up a great company. We're doing some in the area of 20, 25 million a year. But the problem is I've been stuck at that 20, 25 million a year for the past 3 years. We're stagnating, and I'm not able to break through that glass ceiling of the 20, 25 million. So even when you do make money and your company is successful, if you're not growing, then you suffer also. And it's a good reason, because if you don't grow, then you're going to stagnate. And when you start stagnating in business, you go backwards. And when you start going backwards, it's very hard to deal with that sometimes on a business level, on a financial level. And this is actually the reason that I'm talking with you today. That's why I'm making this video. I was walking home today from the cafe in the morning, and yesterday I took a Voltaren pill, which is a painkiller. And I thought this morning, wow, how free I feel. Pain-free. Well, not pain-free, but it mellows out the pain. You still live in pain, but it mellows it. I can walk better. I don't have to sit every couple of minutes when I walk my dog. I can move my neck. I have a small tear in my rotator cuff. I can't sleep at night many nights. I slept last night better. I could teach the martial arts yesterday better. And I'm thinking to myself, physical pain, yes, we have to deal with it in our mind. But if it becomes really too bad, there are ways to deal with it from a painkiller side. You don't have to live in pain, in constant pain, and let it destroy your world. That's the thing. And it's the same with our emotional pain. It's the same with our suffering that I talked about in our relationships. In our relationships with our wives, husbands, kids, family, in the workplace, in our business, with ourselves. We are so used to suffering that we take it for granted, that that's the way life is supposed to be. There's nothing to do. We were brought up that way many times. That's how we see the world. And I'm here to tell you, no, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way at all. That's our conditioning, and we are able to break through that conditioning. I myself, about 25 years ago, and I had everything in life on a financial basis. I was living a very, very comfortable life. But I was suffering because I was not living at peace with myself. And I got up one day and I decided to take my own life and take responsibility for it and start asking questions. Why do we suffer like this when we have so-called everything, so-called? And you know what I found? It's possible to change our lives. It's possible to break through to a different and higher level. And it's possible to live a life in which we do not suffer, in which we do have better relationships, personal relationships with our kids, with our wives, with our girlfriends. We live better with ourselves. We have a much better business, because when we live on a personal level in a much better way, it affects our business so positively. And it's possible to break through anything that is holding us back from living our lives to the fullest, also on a financial level and a business level. Because, and that's one of the things which I know from my own practice of coaching people and coaching people who have built up very big businesses. When somebody's stuck in his business or in her business, it's not because of business skills that they're lacking. They don't need business advice. They built up an 8-figure business, sometimes a 9-figure business, all by themselves. They know it backwards and forwards. What's holding them back is their own mind. And that's where we have to work, in our minds. And it is possible. Yes, it's a journey. Yes, it's not taking a pill and everything looks rosy. And yes, you have to work fucking hard on the path, on the spiritual path. And I'm not talking about spiritual path in relationship to a God or anything like that. I'm not going into that area. I'm talking about the spirit of ourselves inside us, in order that we can live a life in which we're fulfilled, a life of peace and happiness and tranquility, in which we feel that we are contributing to others and ourselves. We're getting the best deal possible. It is available to us. But for that, we have to work. For that, we have to get up and start training our minds. So basically, that's what I was, thinking about when I started making this video. I never really have any script or think what I'm going to say. Whatever I feel like saying, I'm saying. And I want to thank you if you're watching until now. If you do need any support and you feel that you're in a place now which your life could be better if you only worked on it, then I'm here to support you. You can reach out to me. We can get on a short phone call and see if we're maybe a good fit. And maybe we can do something together as far as transforming your life for the better. So thanks for watching until now. And if you want some more videos, I have on my YouTube channel. Go into my playlists, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.